So there's this video on the internet of this woman with her baby, and she's going to Church's Fried Chicken, and she's serving herself, and she walks out with the food. So it's kind of implied as well by watching this video that she also didn't pay for it, and then also too she's kind of cursing about like I don't give a fuck this and that, and the context of the video is that she's been waiting a long time. So I want to talk a little bit about this video. That first of all, it's very unfortunate that this happened because obviously, you know, I can understand in one sense, bad customer service and being frustrated. And then also, I don't mind saying that I'm going to be 38 in a couple of months. Buy me a birthday gift, bitches. But the thing about it is, I'm just messing with you guys. But the thing about it is that sometimes when we get a little older, we start to become a little bit more impatient. So I do understand that. And then also on top of that, when we have children, that's an additional like frustration, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed with life responsibilities. So I can totally understand why this person is angry. And then, recently I had a very bad experience with McDonald's customer service. And I was thinking in my head, really, like, what happened was that, I had an Uber driver and he was like, 30 minutes late, and it showed that he was at Walgreens and other places for a while. He barely spoke English, so he came off as really confused. And then my orange soda was like spilled all over my stuff, really. So I remember like sending Uber a very passive aggressive message saying something like, "Well, thanks to him, I'm gonna have cookies and cheese sticks for for my dinner, really, while I'm at work," and I was 30 minutes late. So I can totally understand irritability, and I can also understand too that sometimes you may want to put hands on people. You maybe want to be like, hey, you guys are not doing your job. Or sometimes when people work in fast food, they'll tell you to wait and wait and wait and wait, and they're just like chitting and chatting like with their friends. Or I know what it's like when I used to shop at Walgreens in Hamden, and I remember that they would always tell people at the front of the store, if you need to talk to somebody, go to the back of the store and talk to those people. And then those people at the back of the store would be like, hey, it's their job. They're just taking advantage. So I remember one time I lied and I called, HR on, not HR, but like the district managers and like the corporate office and say, hey, that this has been going on. And I was going to spend like $500. Like I lied on them. And then now they had good customer service because I got fed up with bad service. So I can totally understand her perspective of, bad customer service and you want to be a vigilante. But it doesn't make it right, really. And then there's a couple of things. That first of all, she's walking out with food and it doesn't look like she paid for it. So I don't see money on the table. I don't even think that since she got her food, I don't think they even said, hey, Cash App or whatever. So more than likely she stole this, So, there's a petty crime with that. The other issue is that, the other issue with that as well is that there's like laws saying that you can't go back there because of sanitation rules, because once you bring somebody back there who's not employed, doesn't know the procedures, you don't know. And then there's also that rule of, oh well, there's a bat of fried chicken grease and all that stuff boiling in the background, because they have to put things in a fryer. There's ovens, so somebody could say, hey, you need to take that kid away from her because that's child endangerment. And then also, because she is holding a child and anything can happen, people can like tell her, hey, stop what you're doing. Or there could be somebody that's like, okay, we're going to call the cops, really. Or she can go take off running. Somebody could say that that's either child endangerment or delinquency of a minor. And then the other thing, too, is that clearly, how should I kind of say this? That, it perpetuates black stereotypes. That's one of the reasons why maybe this is popular, because you're seeing a black woman steal fried chicken goes with a stereotype of black people love fried chicken, black people steal fried chicken. Because if I'm correct, the stereotype comes from the fact that during the 1800s, black people were trying to do better for themselves, so they started farms to feed themselves. And one dish that they had was chicken because it was easy to get chicken, and also chicken, it was very nutritious. So people took the stereotype of black people trying to better themselves by having farms and other things to the black person loving that fried chicken stereotype. So when she does this, it kind of, not her intention, but it adds to black women, like the black person loving that fried chicken too much. The other thing too is that she is a black woman, really. So this kind of adds to the stereotype, the Rochelle stereotype that I call of a nasty black woman, foul language. She's holding her kid, where's the man? It adds that stereotype that maybe, black fathers are not prevalent. Um, the single mother issue, and then also just like saying I don't give a fuck and speaking broken English, it adds a stereotype of that black people don't value education really, and then also it adds to the stereotype of black criminality, and also adds to the stereotype of how the stereotype that black people encourage their children to act like criminals because what's this baby learning from all this? Oh well, you know what, unruly behavior and all that. So it's unfortunate because it adds those things, and then her friends like recording her, so it adds to that stereotype of joint criminality or not looking at how bad somebody's behavior is. So it's definitely a very very troubling video. So like what I would say too is that obviously, I just think that I just hope that it just turns out well for this person because obviously losing a kid to like to the system is not good, and then also the other thing too is that you know also understand, and I know a lot of people don't like me hearing this, that each time you do something it makes yourself look bad, and it also is bad for representation. Like you know I've said this millions of times that I did a film festival for the 40 Hour Film Project. I was harassed. And then I remember, like, on stage, I lost control of my emotions. Even though I'm mixed race, it perpetuates the stereotype of black people being angry. Or I know, like, again, when I was mad at McDonald's and the Uber driver, I didn't do a video of me knocking the Uber driver out or me just going down to McDonald's and robbing the place and saying, like, hey, that's my reparation, really, because, you know what, you guys, because Uber keeps sending people to pick up my food who are incompetent. So, so with that said, really, I didn't go down there and I didn't have bring one of my friends from work to do a video, and people think that I'm black. Really, I'm mixed race. I'm part black, part Native American, part white. But if I did that, then people will like, oh well, look at this guy. What he's adding to those black stereotypes. This is how black men get down. Really, when they get angry, they want to just they want to stand on business by doing criminal behavior. Really, so everything we do. One motivation to stay out of trouble is, how do you make, your race look really? Or what does it say when you misbehave really? It makes a bunch of people look bad. But I do understand that, it shouldn't be like that. Like people should be judged individually by their actions, but we are not, Um, no, we're not, and that's across the board with everything, And then also too, when you speak about that, you speak about women, and then there's a stereotype of women being entitled, or there's a bunch of men in the background not doing anything to her, so it adds to the stereotype of what you see about women, a stereotype of women that women can that women are entitled, women are alphas, men are betas, and women can do whatever they want when they're upset and they're angry, really, and nobody really does anything. So, it's not a good video. It's not a good look. I can understand, customer service being bad and everything like that. But also, it's just, setting a bad example to your children, most of all, really. And then again, you don't know how far these things go. Because, like I said, somebody can call the cops can go looking for this person, and then they can put the kid in the system and everything like that, because that's usually, how it goes in these types of situations, So it is bad behavior, and obviously people who do bad things should be punished accordingly.